Well, welcome back in for another episode of Clean Slate. So I have made some decisions today because I was entirely inspired by this wrapping paper. I love this wrapping paper. And so I'm going to be doing something with this wrapping paper. And I've been saving it for Clean Slate. So I think I'm going to work here because there's some of the same colors. I'm not quite sure how to deal with this big gap between the gaps between my signatures. I could have made my bound end less wide and not so much space between. But part of my thinking on that was that these were going to get pretty bulky, but I really think that that is a bit much. I could shorten this page a little bit and bring this out a little bit more. Kind of bridge that gap a little bit. I don't want a lot soaking in there. So it'll be a little shorter here and a little wider in here. And that would bridge that a little bit more. Or I can collage right into it. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So that's kind of where I was going to get started. So as you can tell, I have decided that I am going to go collage into that gap with the Collage Materials and not alter that right side page.
You say that something's got to give. You say it's one way to live. Yet you sit and wait for better days. I think we must push through the gray. Hold me closer than the wind. Let me be the orchid. Have me every second. We'll be the orchids. Oh, earth spins, seeds grow and people go. Yes, things end to start again.
As always, I have listed all the products I've used down below in the description box, as well as links for affiliates, so check those out if you get a chance.
Life is life, not everything can
I'm going in with my second layer, which is going to be this white gesso. Usually I go in with my fingers and really follow the texture, but this paper that I'm using is pretty slick. So I'm actually going in with a paintbrush and I'm just being very scrubby about it. I'm trying to push back some areas, kind of combine them in so they all feels like a little bit more cohesive of a layer, yet allow some things to peek through. And then I'm going to use this stencil to do some reductive stenciling. So I'm pulling up that gesso with a baby wipe. That's also hence why I put it in kind of thick.
You say that something's got to give. You say it's one way to live. Yet you sit and wait for better days. I think we must push through the gray.
So now I'm just going back in with a clean baby wipe and just pulling back some of that gessoed area and lightening it up a little bit. I'm just really trying to start creating some really nice layers.
We'll be the orchids, oh, earth spin.
And now that that's dry, I am going in again with the same stencil. You're going to see a lot of this stencil and some Liquitex paint. Now this stuff is awesome. You can spray it indoors. It doesn't have any smell. I love the Liquitex paint. So I'm going in with the titanium white and using it through that stencil to create yet another layer. And you guessed it, I'm going in again with the stencil, and this time I'm going to use some crackle paste through the stencil. And again, trying to make those layers, but I'm changing out the layers a little bit, coming in with some texture. And this time I'm coming in, I'm actually going to go over those areas that I used the crackle paste with, and I'm actually going to put this Distressed Oxide down on it. Because Distressed Oxide inks are water soluble, I can then add water. They will go down into the cracks, as you will see, and then you can pull it off the top surface layer, anything that's residual. So I could have used Distress ink, but the color I wanted, I didn't have the stain of the regular ink instead of the oxide. So that's why I went in with this. What I had that was the color I wanted. All right, now I'm going to go in with these archival inks in bright colors, kind of matching the wrapping paper that I collaged down originally for yet another layer.
Oh, that's the charm, not the harm. Baby, I believe, oh, hold me closer than the wind. Let me be the orchid. Oh, have me every second end. We'll be the orchid. Life is life, not everything can be right at once. No matter the height, we'll get there, I'm sure. Oh, just hold me closer than the wind. Let me be the orchid. Oh, have me every second end. We'll be the orchid.
Now I left this footage in because I wanted you to see I tried first this precision ink pen around that crackle paste. I love these things. They work really nicely over gesso and that kind of stuff, and you'll see me use it later, but I needed it to use it around the crackle paste and it just did not like the texture. So I eventually come in with a Stabilo all in black. I think the color is more intense anyways. I really liked what it ended up looking like, but I did want to leave the footage in so you could see I tried this and it didn't give me what I wanted and didn't work well, so then I went in with the Stabilo all.
Something's got to give. You say it's one way to live, yet you sit and wait for better days. I think we must push through the gray. Hold me closer than the wind. Let me be the orchid. Have me every second end. We'll be the orchids. Oh, earth spins, seeds grow and people go. Yes, things end. Just
All right, so these are sheets of labels that I have created into some collage fodder, and I'm checking them to see because there's some circles there that I seeing if they will match nicely with the circles that are already on the page. So this is actually going to be my Technique Tuesday coming out in August. So look for that. I have decided after making this set of them that I'm going to explore this further and get some really nice collage fodder made out of these. It came into my possession a ton of old labels that can't be used anymore, and I was like, I'm not putting these into the landfill. I'm gonna figure out how to make some awesome collage fodder out of them. And so I've been doing some testing, and I'm gonna try and get some footage of that and put together a Technique Tuesday next month.
closer than the wind. Let me be the orchid. Oh, have me every second end. We'll be the orchids. Oh, just hold me closer than the wind. Let me be the orchid. You say that something's got to give. You say it's one way to live. Yet you sit and wait for better days. I think we must push through the gray. Hold me closer than the wind. Let me be the orchid. Have me every second. We'll be the orchids. Oh, earth spins, seeds grow and people go. Yes, things end to start again. And we're not different, you and me. Oh, that's the charm, not the harm. Baby, I believe. Oh, hold me closer than the wind. Let me be the orchid. Oh, have me every second. We'll be the orchids. Life is life, not everything can be right at once. Oh, no matter the height, we'll get there, I'm sure. Oh, just hold me closer than the wind. Let me be the orchid. Oh, have me every second. We'll be the orchids. Oh, just hold me closer than the wind. Let me be the orchid. Have me every second. We'll be the orchids. You say